Okie doke, here we go. Thursday, May 11th. Today we're working on topic 8.5. Today you're going to calculate the mean of absolute deviation and interquartile range of a data set. And that sounds very sophisticated, but we're going to break it down and you're going to be like, oh, that's so easy. So you need this paper that I put in your green folders for the week, and I saved you a little bit to do notes. You're going to put your notes on here, and then this will get taped into your comp book for information. Okay, so let's just start with talking about the absolute deviation. So do you remember when we did absolute value, and that was just how far away a number was from zero? So on a number line, we had absolute value of -3, and so if we had -3, the absolute value was 3, because that's how far away it was. It could be 8, and then the absolute value of 8 would be 8, because that's how far away it is. Okay, is there ever a negative absolute value? Nope, because it just is how far away things are from zero. So with that little reminder of absolute value, now let's take that to absolute deviation. And so with this, you can think of it as the distance between each data value and the mean. Okay, so you can find that by computing the absolute value of the difference between those numbers. So I'm going to zoom in on my teacher's guide here. So if you look here at page 498 in your book, the mean for Anne's test scores is 86, and then all these other numbers are her other test scores. And so this is how far away it would be from the mean. So this one is a 99 minus 86, and so the absolute deviation would be 13. She's got one over here that was a 73, and we subtract that from 86, and the absolute deviation is 13. So I think when you see it on the number line, it makes more sense. And instead of 0, this time now we're using the median. Make sense? Okay. So then, zoom a little out here. So then the mean absolute deviation just tells you how far the typical data value set is from the mean. So you're going to take all of, you're going to find the average basically of the absolute deviations. So, because look at its mean, so that's like average. So we would add up all of these. So 9 plus 2 plus 0 plus 11. And we would be dividing it by the number of scores, which is 4. And so this absolute mean absolute deviation, or MAD, would be 5.5. And so that just means that most of her test scores are below or above that 86, which was her mean. Okay. So the interquartile range then would take all of those, and you go back to the box and whisker plots, and you would take the interquartile range would be how far apart the first and the third, how far apart is that spread, and that would be the interquartile range. So In Ann's, I'm going to go back to the book. Sorry, I'll finish my thought here. So this would be the IQR. Okay, so if we went back to the one in the book, for example, number 2, and we had, oops, too big. So sorry. Okay, so we had a box and whisker plot of her data set. The first quartile is 79, and her third quartile is 82. And so you would subtract that. And so that range from the first to the third is 3. And so that just means that, again, it's about 3 percentage points away from her median of 86 or 80. I can't remember what her mean is on this one. Okay, so I would like you, since you have this for your book, let's pause and let's go through the first couple ones here. Okay? Okay, let's look at this notes here. So calculating the mean, you're adding all of those, oops, you are adding up all of those numbers. I got 42, there's 6 pieces of data, divide by 6, so the mean would be 7. List the number of units each data value is from the mean, so that is looking at that absolute deviation. So the first piece of data was 5 away from the 7 would be 2. 10 away from 7 is 3. 8 away from 7 is 1. 12 away from 7 is 5. 1 from 7 is 6. And 6 from 7 is 1. Okay, so we take that. We take the absolute deviations, we add those up, we divide it by the number of data set pieces, and we would get 3. Okay, so that is how we find the mean absolute deviation. Not hard, but you got to be precise. Okay, keep track of everything, write it down neatly, and double check your work. All right. Then for the interquartile range, I did a quick box and whisker. I put the data set from up here in order 1, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. I find the median. Well, we've got an even set of numbers, so it has to be between these two. So my median is actually going to be 7. So I can put that on the number line. My minimum is 1. My maximum is 12. And then it's nice and neat. When I ignore the 7. I go between 1 and 6 for the interquartile, that's 5. For my third quartile, I ignore the median and I go 8. The middle of 8 and 12 is 10. So there's my box and whisker plot. And so to find the interquartile range, then I do, oh, this should be backwards, sorry. 3 and 1 is 5. So it's kind of like we're putting all these pieces that we've been doing with mean, with absolute value, box and whisker plots, and median, and now we're applying it into this different way. I think that you can do it as long as you're very precise, and some of you rush. You will be able to use notes, so please make sure that you have this connected into your comp book, and you are going to do page 501 and to 502. You're going to do number 8 through 17, and then go and check your work. All right, good luck.